What's up, boys and morons, and welcome back to another video. As you guys might have noticed, I haven't uploaded a YouTube video for like 2 months. And the reason for that is, first of all, laziness. My mental health has been garbage. But I have low-key missed you guys. Aww. All 7 of you cringy Mitchy soldiers. I have also updated our channel. Now we have a red cute circle around my profile picture. We got the best YouTube banner in history. With all the things I care about. And I almost forgot that we also have a based and true description of our channel now. And I do now have a Twitter account. Please drop a follow. In this video, we are actually not talking about someone in America. For once, we are actually heading towards the Middle East. But it's actually not in the Middle East to find our degenerate for this video. We are heading towards London in England, and if you can read, you probably know who we're talking about today, which is,
G-I-R-L-S. I like girls. I'm not gay. I would never. I'm straight. Being gay is misogynistic, so I would never do it. I like girls. I would never be gay. It's just an abomination. You're sick for even accusing me of that.
Sadiq Khan. This little soy boy has been the mayor of London since 2016. To his low IQ fan base, he's a champion of uniformity and regression. To his critics, particularly people with actual common sense, he's the poster child of everything wrong with modern Britain.
Our people, his office, our people having spoken to the police here, the advice we've received is 29 people have been injured. They were my thoughts and prayers. The advice we've received from the police service here and from the mayor's office is to carry on business as usual. I'm not going to speculate as to who was responsible. I'm not going to speculate as to how the police in New York should react. What I do know is part and parcel of living in a great global city is you've got to be prepared for these things. You've got to be prepared for these things.
Leader, accused of turning London into India, Bangladesh, Pakistan, Sweden, Paris, Berlin.
Fuck up, you nasty bitch. I don't know how to fuck you jump on my son, you little nasty ass nigga. Shut your little bitch ass up, you dirty bitch.
Oslo, Brussels, Ireland, Los Angeles, San Francisco.
We'll convert your children. Happens bit by bit, quietly and subtly, and you will barely notice it. We'll convert your children. We're coming for them. We're coming for your children.
In Washington, D.C., from skyrocketing crime to controversial policies like ULEZ, Satanistic Chan's tenure has sparked fierce debate. Is he a well-meaning politician struggling with a tough job? Or does his leadership reveal a darker side of corruption and degenerate priorities? Let's analyze the evidence and decide for ourselves. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. And let's get started.
Welcome to a special night edition of The Moment. Corruption. This episode was so controversial, it sparked a long debate as to whether or not to air it at all. Quite honestly, if I had my vote, it would definitely air. It is the most uncomfortable I've ever been on television, asking these questions and listening to the answers that were given. But in the end, it was decided that this episode should air. I will tell you, however, that the truth is often not pretty.
The controversial episode you weren't supposed to see. The London Mayor Sadiq Khan will say anything to trick his own citizens.
Do you believe you might have been in love with a former boyfriend on your wedding day?
His lies leaves his voters shocked and destroy his career.
Since you've been married, have you ever had relations with someone other than your husband? Are you lying about the grooming gangs in London?
And just when he thinks it can't get any worse.
This question will not be asked by me. It's by a surprise guest, your ex-boyfriend, Keir Starmer.
Dumb Islamophobic move. I say, let's tax the poor.
Sometimes the truth goes too far.
Prior to tonight's show, all of our participants have undergone a rigorous polygraph exam. They don't know the results of that test, but if they tell the truth, they can win. Question 1.
I'd like to know, if I was to barge through the barriers, I'm not going to, don't worry, but if I was to barge through the barriers, what would actually happen? What would actually happen to me? I know what would happen to me, because in a previous answer, you've talked about the 4 E's. You said that the staff are trying to engage. What does that mean? Educate, encourage, and then enforce. Why is enforcement... These are enforcement officers. Why is enforcement... supposedly in their job title, why is that only ever the last resort? I think Londoners will be disappointed that these people are there to enforce, supposedly, and they're not, because that seems to be the lowest priority in those 4 E's that you give them to do.
Sorry, Chair, I'm not sure what the question was.
It's just on the cameras. It was the cameras we're covering. Okay. Okay, sorry about that.
Question 2.
I asked you this question last week and you found every which way but not to answer it. Just how many grooming gangs have we got in London?
To avoid any misunderstanding, can she define what she means by that?
Yes, if you look at what's gone on in Rotherham, where there are people taking young girls, grooming them for that is what I'm talking about.
We know in London there are issues about exploitation of young people, but they're not as defined by the member in her definition of what those types of gangs are.
So are you saying we haven't got the same sort of gangs that are in Rotherham, Bradford and lots of other places in the country?
Just for you to misunderstanding, what does she mean by that?
You know full well what I mean by that. It's all over the television. You know exactly what I mean by that. These gangs of people that are grooming young girls for do we actually have those in London?
I'm unclear, Chair, what is meant by the question. If she could spell it out, I can answer.
I've just spelt it out. Are you not listening? It's the sort of gangs that groom young girls at a young age for exactly how much clearer do you want me to be?
Truth goes too far.
That makes me so livid I could cry. That disgusting human being who happens to be the Mayor of London, who also happens to hold the title of the Police and Crime Commissioner as part of that role, that responsibility, obfuscating, gaslighting, bullying, belittling. These are little girls, underage minors, being by gangs in our capital city. You do not play games over this. If this was anybody else in any other position of authority, that clip alone should have seen his head roll. London Mayor, you are a disgrace. You're disgusting. You do not deserve to be in that position. Not when the welfare, the well-being, the dignity, the integrity, the safety and the innocence of children in the capital city is at stake. You are the most deplorable, despicable, horrible human being to answer that question like that. Now you get back in that seat, you answer the question properly, you get the stats, you hold the police to account. That is what you're supposed to be doing. That is what I'm paying you to do. As someone who pays taxes, living in London, I should expect no less. The country should expect no less. You disgust me. I cannot fathom how he has the audacity to sit there in mayoral question time and respond to what is an extremely serious and valid line of questioning from your leader on this most sensitive and important of subjects. I'm horrified. We know that the buck stops with Sadiq Khan because he, as the Mayor of London, is in lieu of a police and crime commissioner. I think the man should resign.
Well, I think on this and many other reasons, it's been clear that he is not fit to be the Mayor of London, and I would certainly be calling for his resignation.
3.
Mr. Khan, I'm a Westminster City Councillor. I just wanted to ask you on your thoughts on knife crime going up by 60% in the past 2 years. No, this is the Met thing. Knife crime 60% up, and you don't care. Nothing to say? Nothing to say? Nothing to say about knife crime going up? 81,000 phones stolen? Nothing, you don't care?
If you want to write
if you want to write in, they say. Great. Mr. Khan, will you accept the debate for Nigel? He's being booed as we go inside. So I asked him, he wouldn't speak to me about a 60% increase in knife crime in our city in 2 years. 81,000 phones stolen. He wouldn't talk to me, he looked down on me, he wouldn't even bother answering. So I asked him, will he accept the challenge to debate Nigel on London's abysmal crime rate?
Question 69. Do you think you're a good person?
Yes.
That answer is...
It's true. It's true.
false.
Let's start with one of the most persistent criticisms of Sadiq Khan, his handling of crime. London has always had its challenges, but under Khan's watch, critics argue the city has become a PvP server. Homicides, robberies, and intercourse offenses have also risen, with some common sense commentators claiming a non-consensual intercourse act is reported every hour in London. They paint a picture of a city spiraling into chaos with Khan at the helm, either unwilling or unable to act. Common sense voices are accusing Khan of ignoring crime to prioritize woke initiatives like banning body-shaming ads or tackling toxic masculinity. They argue he's more interested in optics than results. You have to ask yourself, why hasn't Khan, after nearly a decade in office, delivered a safer London? Is it incompetence or something more deliberate? A refusal to confront tough realities? Perhaps no policy defines Khan's tenure more than the ultra-low emission zone or ULEZ.
He's been so adamant that this is, it's either his way or the highway.
Yeah, it's tone deaf, isn't it?
It's that ULEZ is the most important thing in the world and it's going to save thousands of lives, and if you're against it, then you must be a far-right conspiracy theorist. Whereas actually, you know, there's so many legitimate concerns about this.
And it's not just about London.
And it's not just about London. And actually, most of the people affected by it, around 85% of the people who are expected to pay the fines, live outside of London. And, you know, if you live in Essex, you live in Hertfordshire, it's very easy to, you know, just cross one road and suddenly find yourself in the ULEZ zone. And so the Mail gives an example of a graveyard just bordering Essex. So imagine you're going to, you know, drop flowers off at your mother's grave or something like that, and you're hit with a ULEZ charge for going essentially what you thought was simply a road round the corner.
Expanded in 2023 to cover all of Greater London, ULEZ charges drivers of high-pollution vehicles £12.50 a day. Khan calls it a necessary step to combat air pollution and climate change. But to many, especially people with common sense, it's a blatant tax grab targeting working-class Londoners. The criticism is fierce. Drivers of older cars, often those who can't afford newer, compliant vehicles, face daily costs just to get to work. Small businesses already struggling say ULEZ is crippling them. Common sense groups have dubbed it a war on motorists, accusing Khan of dismissing their concerns as extremist rhetoric. In 2023, Khan even suggested ULEZ opponents were aligned with China Lab virus deniers or far-right activists, a move that alienated many who saw their legitimate grievances ignored.
What I find unacceptable, though, is some of those who've got legitimate objections joining hands with some of those outside who are part of a far-right group who are... Some of those outside, some of those, let's be frank, let's call a spade a spade. Some of those outside are part of the far right, some are COVID deniers, some are vaccine deniers, and some are Tories.
Look, hang on. The mayor has a right to be heard, right? Don't... Look, this people's question time. is an opportunity for you to have an exchange of views, not to heckle or shout, please. Otherwise, we could end this very, very quickly.
Now, to those people who've got legitimate concerns, fact, by the way, and in a fact, some of you have got good reasons to oppose ULEZ, but you're in coalition with COVID deniers. You're in coalition. You may not like it. 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 You're in coalition with the far right, and you're in coalition with vaccine deniers as well.
For many, the policy symbolizes Khan's disconnect from ordinary Londoners, prioritizing green agendas over economic survival. Sadiq Khan's vision for London is unapologetically multicultural. But for common sense critics, this is where Khan's leadership takes a darker turn. They accuse him of prioritizing minority communities, particularly Muslims, over traditional British residents, often coded as white Londoners.
They're pressuring us to learn about Islam and learn about the people that are coming over. I don't want to learn about that. I want to learn about my culture, my beliefs, and I'm proud to be English. Yeah.
Have they taught you about the Bill of Rights?
No.
Did you learn about the Battle of Agincourt?
No. In school they were teaching us about, you know, about Islam, about Prophet Muhammad, and all their ideologies. They barely covered Christianity at all.
Did they tell you about how he was a warlord who brutally murdered people?
No, they wouldn't say any of that. And when I tried to stand up and say that some of them things, I would get in trouble for it. Suspended from school because apparently I was being racist. I wasn't. I was just trying to, you know.
You're questioning an ideology.
Yes, I was questioning the ideology, and in my opinion, it's not the right ideology. They're trying to take away my free speech in school. They're trying to silence me in school, to suspend me from school for, you know, trying to stand up and discuss stuff about Islam, the wrongs of it. So they only say, oh, Islam's a peaceful religion, but if you look into their book, you find out it's not.
If you call the majority of the British public far right, it loses any sense of its meaning.
Far right problem in the UK. Far right leaders.
The far right.
Far right problem. Far right groups.
Anyone that tells the truth gets targeted as a far right.
If you call people that are genuinely concerned about their communities and about the ability to travel freely and about paying fines and having surveillance continually, if you call them all something, if you call them all conspiracists, you diminish the meaning. And actually, when you do have those people, and they may be a particular concern or risk, it loses all meaning. It's dangerous, it's anti-democratic, it's very dumb, and it's dumbed down.
Many voices claim Khan's policies have turned London into Londonistan. They point to incidents like a tourism campaign that described a white family as not representing real Londoners as evidence of bias. These criticisms often veer into pattern recognizing. Khan has faced over 300,000 pieces of pattern recognizing mean comments since taking office, including unalive warning and slurs like alternative lifestyle muzzy explosion person. But beyond the vitriol, there's a broader critique that Khan's focus on progressive causes, critical race theory, trans rights, or globalist ideals alienates working class communities who feel their identity is in danger. Is Khan building an inclusive London, or is he fueling division by prioritizing certain groups? Beyond specific policies, critics argue Khan's overall governance is a masterclass in mismanagement. Transport for London's finances are a mess, with fares rising while services stagnate. His opposition to Heathrow's third runway, citing carbon budgets, is seen as stifling economic growth and jobs. And then there's his knighthood in 2025, which common sense critics called a reward for failure, arguing it mocks British honors. Common sense opinions go further, accusing Khan of fraud and exploiting public office. They claim he's built an unshakable voting bloc by pandering to minorities, ensuring re-election despite his failures.
My question is on fare dodging in London. There's more fare dodges than ever before. Every time you go through the tube, there are people tailgating, there are people not paying for their fares. And it's hard-working Londoners who are paying for those fare dodges. Dirty, there's graffiti everywhere. What are you doing about it? It seems like you're doing nothing, but congrats on being knighted.
Well, Alex, hope you feel lighter getting it all out.
You're famous before Donald Trump.
Donald who?
Donald Trump.
He called me hashtag stone cold loser. Well, I won my re-election. How about him?
Yeah. There you go. That's the answer.
Do you regret supporting Donald Trump, who's a racist, sexist and homophobe? Do you regret liking Enoch Powell? Do you regret liking Lee Anderson, the Islamophobe? Will you apologise unequivocally for having those sorts of views and promise to be a mayor if you win that unites communities rather than your record of dividing them?
I do not divide communities. I support all communities. I come from Harrow, where it's the most diverse borough in London, I'd say. It's incredible. And actually, if you look at all communities... Are you going to apologise or not? No, if you look at all communities, we've all got the same values. We all believe in hard work. We all believe in family, and we all believe in fairness. And we should all look at people in that way. We've all got the same values.
No apology for Trump, for Enoch Powell or Lee Anderson. You're unfit to be there. And I accept when the government says it's in the national interest for President Trump to have a state visit. Me personally, look, my views on President Trump in his second term haven't changed. And I'm sure you'll see when President Trump comes to the UK, Londoners and Brits exercising our right of freedom of speech and freedom of protest and letting our views be known.
You didn't want him to come last time round.
Well, I think my views on President Trump are known by everybody. They've not changed in his second term. And unlike the views of Vice President J.D. Vance, we do in fact have free speech in this country. We do in fact have free speech in this country. Which includes the right to protest. And I expect you'll see Londoners and those across the country letting their views be known loud and clear if and when President Trump comes.
During his recent trip to the UK, with patriots supporting his unapologetic slamming of London Mayor Sadiq Khan.
I think he's done a terrible job, the mayor of London, but the nasty person. I think he's done. I think he's a friend of mine, right? No, I think he's done a terrible job, but I would certainly visit London. Yeah.
And Trump didn't stop there. He doubled down on the criticism whilst on Air Force One.
But Europe has a big immigration problem. But they also liked when I said that they have one of the worst mayors anywhere in the world in London. He's a horrible mayor, nasty guy, stupid guy in my opinion, but he's a nasty man, and I want nothing to do with him. But I didn't think it was a big statement, and so many people said thank you for saying that.
And he was right. British patriots came out in support of Trump's comments, with MP Rupert Lowe saying, Trump is right. Khan has done a terrible job. He has destroyed our capital city. Awful man, awful London mayor.
So, why the evil label? For people with common sense, Khan embodies everything they oppose. Multiculturalism, identity politics, open borders, rejection of vision of good old Britain. They see him as a traitor who surrendered London with crime, illegal immigration.
Nothing beats an illegal working holiday. We pick you up in the Channel and take you right to your 4-star hotel, where you can work illegally, claim benefits, and never be deported. Watch how the British struggle paying the highest taxes since the 1940s while you pay nothing and even receive benefits. All this and more.
Cringe. He's done it!
Grooming gangs, woke ideology, and radical far-left politics. Is Sadistic Chan evil? Absolutely. Drop your thoughts in the comments, like this video, and subscribe for more deep dives into the degenerates shaping our world. Until next time, keep noticing, keep analyzing, and we'll see you in the next one.
Looks like you forgot. Once again, how powerful you are.